Okay, so I'd like to walk you through how to solve this particular problem. So if we take a look over here, we can see it's basically the same as our previous track and field problem, but what we want to do is we want to add a loop to it, and that's what the instructions say here. And it's telling us we also need to keep track of the number of wins. So the first to get the 3 wins is the ultimate winner, as shown below. So the user versus the computer, and if the computer gets 3 wins, the computer is the ultimate champion. Ask if the player would like to play again. So we're going to go back to the starter code, and this is basically the whole program. It already runs the way we want it to. So I'm going to do short distance, and the computer ran so fast you never even saw it. So my speed was 2, the computer's speed was 17, and then the program ends. So let's take a look at that. So the first thing we need to do is to get a loop going. Now, if you recall from looking over here, we want to have welcome to the track and field game at the top at all times. So we want to make sure that that is there. So I'm just going to start. I'm going to say, okay, let's say I'm going to make a while true loop. And then I'm just going to go all the way down. And I'm going to hit tab. Now I have mine set so that tab will tab everything over. It's switching everything into spaces, which is the preferred method in Python. And so now let's run that and see what happens. Okay, so I'm going to hit short distance. Okay, now if you see there, it went too fast. So it's actually working. The problem is it's coming all the way back around, clearing the screen and starting over. So I need to put a little delay in there. Now we could do one of two things. We could import time. Let's do it that way. So since we haven't done that for a while. So import time. And then at the bottom here, we'll put time.sleep, and we'll say 3 seconds, just to make it easy. So now I'm going to test it. Every time I add something, I test it. Okay, so I'm going to do short distance. Computer ran so fast, never even saw it. Okay, long distance. So basically, just playing the game over and over again. Oops, R was not an option. Okay, so that is definitely working. Now, because I have those extra spaces in there, it messed up my printing. So I'm going to go ahead and put that back. Now, I can only do this because I'm using 3 quotation marks. And it prints it exactly as it is on the screen. Now, I made some changes. I'm going to test it again, make sure everything's working the way I expected it to. Okay, so that's what I really wanted to see. All right, now let's kill that. And I'm going to go back. And now I got to think about the instructions. Okay, so it says I need to keep track of the number of wins. Okay, so I'm going to do that outside the loop. So I'm going to have user wins. Now when I start the game, user wins is 0, and computer wins is 0. So then keeping track. So then down here, you totally blew the computer away. So I'm going to say user wins plus equals 1. Here the computer won. Computer wins plus equals 1. Again, down here, I win. So I'm going to say user wins plus equals 1. And here I'm going to say computer wins plus equals 1. Oops. Now I'm going to test it, and hopefully you'll realize I did something wrong. Hit S. Okay, so we don't know who won. We didn't print that out. So we have to add that to the print statement. And this is what I'm trying to get across to my students is that, you add something, you test it, make sure it works. So user wins, because nobody programs it right the first time. So user wins. And here I'm going to put, oops. And down here I'm going to put computer wins. And over here. Okay, test it. Okay, short distance. Okay, computer's got 1 win. Long distance. Ooh, the computer's got 2 wins. And let's try short distance again. Ooh, I've got 1 win. Great. Short distance again. Ooh, it's 2-2. And 3. So now we have to program that eventuality. What happens when one player does get 3? So I'm going to put that down here. So I'm going to say if user wins equals 3, print, the user is the ultimate winner. Okay. And I'm going to copy that. And if the computer wins, I'm going to say the computer is the ultimate winner. So now, if I wanted to test this is good stuff to know. What I can do is I can say, I just go ahead and say 3 and 3. Now if I test it, or should I say 3 and 0, so I want to test user wins. I'm just going to enter something that's not in options because it doesn't change the wins. So the user is the ultimate winner. Okay, so that works. And then again, properly I should test it both ways. Let's see if that works. I'm sure it will, but you never know. Oops, that was bad. So the computer has 3 wins, the computer is the ultimate winner. Okay, so we know that that part is working now. So what I need to do, and if you watch the video, it's not in the actual instructions, but it does say once you hit 3 wins, it asks you, would you like to play a game? Okay, so to do that, okay, well, a couple things. I can do elif here because you can't have, they both can't win. So what I could do, and there's nothing wrong with this, is print, would you like to play again? Or actually, let's do this again. Say play again equals input again, put y. Okay. And not upper. So if play again is yes, I need to reset the scores. So user win equals 0, player wins equals 0, and then continue. And that should restart the game. So let's test that. Okay, so the user is the ultimate winner. Would you like to play again? Hit yes. Okay, so it did reset the wins, and that's working. I'll test it. Okay, 1. So it looks like it's going pretty well. So now here's, I know some people in class brought this up. So what I could do is copy this, paste it, and that'll work. Okay, but we always want to try to eliminate redundant code. So what I can do now down here, say if user wins equals 3, or computer wins equals 3, so then I can get rid of this. So I can put these together as a unit and put this together as a unit. So that way I don't have to have this code duplicated. Okay? And kind of a mistake, if, and I'll say else, if we enter anything other than y, we'll say, print thanks for playing, goodbye. And then we will break. That will break us out of the loop. And since there's nothing after the loop down here, it is game over. So let's test that. Short, I1. Oops, let's fix that. That's why we test it. I messed up there because it said 4 wins. So because I kept this at 3. Let's run it again. Okay, computer wins 1. Computer wins 2. Oh my gosh, I think I'm going to get killed here. And computer wins 3. The computer is the ultimate winner. Would you like to play again? I'm just going to say no. And thanks for playing. Goodbye. Now again, I could probably format that a little better. Maybe put a line there, and maybe a blank line. So it's again, Anytime you change something, even if it's that simple, it's good to test it because you never know. Won that one. Computer won that one. Ooh, it's tied 2-2. And it comes down to, yes, the user is the ultimate winner because I got 3 wins. And it's asking, I'm going to say, no, I am done. And that's it. Okay, so that's kind of how you would do something like that. It's pretty straightforward. You do it step by step. Make sure you realize, what has to be set at the beginning and doesn't get reset. And again, as I mentioned in the instructions, you need to make sure that this is always at the top of the screen. That's why OS system clear is inside the loop. When we coupled that with this little sleep, it could have been, you could have done delay equals, press a key to continue, but we'll use time sleep for this one. And then we had to consider in what conditions do we add 1 to user wins, what conditions do we add 1 to computer wins. And then we also had to output user wins and computer wins so we know what's going on. And then finally check, did the user win? If so, print that. Did the computer win? If so, print that. And in either case, we want to ask, do you want to play again? And if they do, we need to reset these values and then continue and go back up to the loop. Otherwise, thank you for playing and end the loop, which ends the program in this case. That's that.